Hey, what's happening, good people? It's your man, Pastor the Game Changer Jackson here. Back, man. Back. We're about to get it in. Listen, now we was on hiatus for a little bit. We'll be pushing out a lot more stuff. It's going to be for a good reason, though. It was some break stuff, a lot of stuff going on, graduation, a whole lot of stuff happening. So we've been MIA just for a little bit, but there will be a lot more in store that will be going down. First, want to thank everybody that's been participating. Thank y'all for tuning in. Appreciate all of the comments, the great suggestions, a lot of the info that you guys have poured into what is going on. Also, a lot of the things that are going on in the community as well when it comes to like the summer camp, the STEM programs, things that we're involved in. So definitely appreciate all of you for continuing to support and participate while we have these interesting conversations and discussions. We're also doing some good. Also, really quick, we'll be giving out some those tickets this week, some tickets to the comedy show that is going down June 13th. So be ready, be ready to be able to go to the comedy show that is happening June 13th. That is going down by C-Mac Productions. We're gonna have a good discussion today, man. We're gonna talk about a little bit about this Jamal Bryant situation. We're gonna go in on that just a little bit. We're gonna talk about a little bit about the femininity of manhood that is happening right now, and a few other things. So appreciate y'all one more time. We'll be right back. What's happening, good people? Yes, we are back at it one more time. Back at it again, man. About to go down in this conversation. Got T with me with the discussion. Go ahead and introduce yourself, T.
Hey everybody, it's your favorite Chi-Town cutie, giving it to you with a passion. I'm looking forward to today's topics. I've missed you all. Good to see you. Good to be here. Hey
Yeah,
Patrick,
man.
what you been up to?
Listen. It's been busy. We both had graduations that was going down with the kiddos.
Yes,
A lot of projects
yes.
that's been underway. So yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun. It's been fun.
Nice, nice.
Yeah. So you had
Okay,
your daughter.
okay.
She graduated, right?
Yes, graduated 2 weeks ago from Spelman College, so I am very excited
Spellman.
about that.
Let's
Yeah,
go,
Phi Beta
Spellman.
Kappa, summa cum laude. So she's smart, smart black girls. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're raising those up. They let 700 loose from Spelman. So they're out there in the world, and I am
They
so
out
proud
there
of
in the world.
them.
They spreading it out here in the
They're about to
universe.
spread it out there. Something is
Yeah,
about to
let's go.
change. It has to change, right?
Hey,
So
that's
yeah,
that should be the part of the plan, the game plan, and the process. In the
that's right.
meantime, in between time, we got to show them some love. You know what I mean? We got to make sure we show them some love.
Right.
Listen. If
Mhm.
y'all in the comments, make sure y'all show some love to all the graduates, our babies, but also all the graduates that are doing great,
Yep.
big, and wonderful things out here in this great big world. They took it on a great challenge with education and in all fields. I mean, college to trade schools to high school, whatever you've done to
Right.
achieve that milestone, man, you deserve kudos, and we want to give you big ups for taking on the responsibility of bettering yourself, which will better our community and our society. So show some love in the chat so that our babies can feel it. They can feel it. They can feel it. The parents can feel it. You know, the parents
Right.
can feel it as well, because you know it's a tribe, right? It's a tribe, right? T in a tribe,
It's a village. It's a village.
village.
Definitely. Definitely.
Bobby said, "Welcome back."
Thank you, OG Bobby Johnson. How are you? Thank you.
Yeah, he's showing the love. He's showing the love. Appreciate the love, man.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about.
Oh, let me
It's
drop
about
the
building
comments so
an
everybody knows.
entire community of people and places and things that are going down. So listen, we ain't gonna hold y'all up, man. There's been some things that have been going down. Now, the first thing we're gonna talk about real quick. Go ahead and say hello if you're jumping on. I know some of y'all gonna be coming on there, but just say hello if you're coming on. Say hello. We want to get back with you in the comments and have the discussion with y'all. Now, I seen a couple things. One was Jamal Bryant, pastor, bishop, I think. Jamal Bryant made interesting. We're gonna talk about a couple things from his initial uh, podcast that he had, but this particular one, he was sitting down with Cam Newton, sitting down with a boy Cam Newton, and yeah, he had some
Yeah.
interesting comments to say the least.
Woo.
Uh, and I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it a little bit. Okay, I want to talk about it. So here go the conversation that uh, Pastor Jamal Bryant had with Cam Newton. Let's check it out.
Oh man, and they lanolated.
Man, listen,
I mean,
I'm back working out.
You put shea butter, Jergens.
Oh, you see that?
They
Just
glowing in the dark.
hold on, hold on. Oh, man, listen.
Did it freeze or did you just
Listen,
turn it off? Turned it off? Did it freeze or did you pause it?
I paused it. I got to play it from the beginning. I'm trying to rewind it.
Okay. I thought you couldn't take another moment.
Yeah. It's a little too much. It's a little too much. Shout out to DJ Tony Neal. But I want to replay it from the beginning, because I don't think people heard the first part of what he said. Let's replay it from that beginning. Hold on. Oh shoot. Hold on. Let me go back to it. Hold on. There we go. Let me just refresh it. Hold on. There we go.
oh man,
And they
Keep not. Hold on. There we go.
got pretty legs, man.
oh man,
And they lanolated.
man, listen,
I mean,
I'm back working out.
You put shea butter, Jergens.
Oh, you see that?
They glowing in the dark.
Hey, hey, listen. I don't know who said that was like, he just sitting there looking at this man's legs. Now, this is Cam Newton, okay? Those of you who don't know who Cam Newton is, Cam Newton is a ex-football player, future Hall of Famer. Definitely a big-time, huge quarterback. If you can't, tell from the initial video, he's a pretty large dude, like pretty big guy. And he got his legs, he just got his legs crossed, sitting there, look different. But he said, "You got pretty legs."
Real
and then
laminated.
I mean, he didn't even just skip over that, just continue the conversation. But he just talking about they nalinated and the shea butter. He said like he want the regiment. Looked like he wanted to touch him.
I thought he was about to touch him. I really did. Yeah.
You thought he was?
You didn't get the part where he said, "Don't skip leg day at the gym. Don't skip leg day."
Said that?
Jamal, the Pastor Bryant said, "Make sure you don't skip leg day." And Cam said something like he was eating right and he purged his tongue, so he's trying to stop cursing. And he said, "I made a mistake the other day and cursed, but who's keeping count?" And Jamal, Pastor Bryant said, "I'm not." He sat back and he was like, "I'm not." And then they played the music, and the old guy was looking like,
"Oh man."
So I have a question for you. How many compliments is too many for a man to give another man? Do you like sometimes, I might see a lady and I'm like, "Okay, you're doing it. Okay, polka dot dress." And we understand that I'm not insecure. I'm secure about myself. I can let another woman know she's looking good. Do guys do that?
Do guys do that?
And I know you don't do it like we do, but what's too much? This was too much, right?
Yeah. Let me break it down just a little bit. So if giving a compliment isn't a bad thing, right? It's what you giving a compliment on and what you saying when you're making the compliment. You see what I'm saying? Like I can see if, "Oh man, you looking fly, bro. Like, I like the outfit. I like your shoes. Oh man, where you get those from, man? I saw those at the mall, man. Them nice." That's where it's at, right? We ain't commenting on legs and all that type of stuff, and how moisturized they look. You know what I mean? Like you salivate over the brother. It's not like you talking to him like he a woman. You know what I mean? Like you talking to a woman. You don't talk to no man.
But
like
you shouldn't. You can't talk to a woman like that these days either. Depending on. So this is another topic.
Nah. You should
depending on who you are, it's really hard to say to a woman, "Ooh, your legs look so oily." Some women might think you're a creep unless you look good. Depending on how good you look, she might think it's a little creepy. But I think a woman would tell another woman she has nice legs.
Yeah, go that way. Don't go with the fella. Yeah, you just because you can't feel like, no, just if they feel like you a creep, just keep being a creep, brother. Because going this way ain't the way. Yeah, nah. Don't go this way. If you feel like you need to give a compliment, don't feel like you need to give the compliments over here. Okay, don't give the compliments over here to the fellas. Keep them over there. Keep them over there, man. Keep them over there with the ladies. Keep them over there with the ladies. It's some ladies that appreciate compliments. You just gotta weed through the bunches and weed through the weirdos that try to act like it's always depending on who's giving the compliment. But in this situation, a man, like women complimenting each other, it seems like y'all a little bit different than guys. We can't talk to each other like that. You know what I mean? You can't. That interview would have been over. That interview would have.
What would you do? You would just walk out, take your mic off.
No, I would. If he was gonna air it, I'd be like, "Hey man, you got some rumors around here. Like you got, why would you compliment me on my legs like that, brother? Like, but he already got some gay stuff that's been kind of swirling, and you now in an interview feeling comfortable to express that to me. I feel like you're hitting on me, brother. I feel like you're hitting on me. That's you out of pocket. Okay, you're out of pocket. But for the the legs is for the ladies, for them to look at and want to grab on and all of that. It ain't for you to look at and wanting to grab on and compliment. Yeah. You keep your leg day to yourself. I keep my leg day to myself. Yeah.
That's I don't know. I think he's just free. I think he's just, he just married, and I forgot her name. I don't know how I could, because she's in the same organization I'm in, but beautiful. His ex-wife was beautiful. His current wife is very beautiful. And so there's
sound like there could be some down low stuff.
I was just about to say, so they're saying, right, that he's using them as like a beard of some sort, and covering up the fact that he likes legs on men. But I think he was just giving him a compliment. Yeah. Ooh.
Bobby said it sounds like
come on.
they homeboy from Atlanta.
Ow.
Riz, I know Pastor ain't gay.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I don't think so.
Listen, I don't put nothing past nobody. Bobby said if you said that while we was hooping, you might not get picked. Yeah, walking up in the gym, hey man, you got some nice legs, bro. You got some nice. They looking all shea buttered up. Yeah, ain't nobody gonna pick you
now,
on the closet. Man.
Can a woman say that to you? What would you think if a woman said, "Ooh, those legs are so oily. They look good." What's your leg routine? How would that make
it's a woman complimenting you at that point. That's a woman that's coming.
So it's an ego thing.
No, it's not an ego thing. It's a boundary thing.
Oh no, not that it's an ego thing, but when a woman says that, it kind of like fills you up. It makes you like, okay. You feel good about your leg day. You feel good about your body getting together. Yeah, okay. Question. So did you think that Kim saw it as a problem? What do you think about how Kim was like answering him? Was he uncomfortable? He didn't seem uncomfortable to me.
He didn't. He listen. It probably was understood and got to be explained.
Because what's understood does not have to be explained.
Ain't got to be explained. No. What's understood ain't got to be explained. See, if you come at somebody that way and you don't set the boundary and the standard, you have now opened the gateway for you to be subject to be getting hit on. You see what I'm saying? Now you got to see he didn't hold the bar. So now it's speculation on Cam now. Now what they did was
Lord.
Now when the cameras went off, now what they rubbing shea butter and stuff. Like what, you know what I mean? Like you don't know. You don't I don't
now we on the show talking about it. He did not set a boundary. That's true. He did not.
If he would have said, hey man, what you mean by that, brother? Like, hey, that's all he had to say. Hey man, that's going a little too far, The legs is for the ladies, bro. Right. You put that you set that standard.
It's for the ladies.
It's for the ladies.
That's true. He did not.
But he ain't set that. He was having a whole conversation. Man, he going all detailed. He leaning back in the chair, getting comfortable. Come on, man. You don't do
His legs did look good though. He had them crossed. He had them crossed just like how a lady has her legs crossed.
Yeah.
To kind of make it kind of sit up and look good.
Yeah, he was sitting regular. But if you think they look good to you. I ain't got a compliment.
Wait, that's sitting regular for a guy to have your legs crossed like that? You sit like that?
Well, the way he was sitting. I'm just basing it off the chair, the setting, how he's trying to sit comfortably for a long time, and not have to sit. But he usually sits like that, and when I see his other podcasts and stuff too, like even if he got on pants and stuff, so I don't put nothing past the way he was sitting. But I do, put something on the way you gonna compliment. When you got something to say,
right?
That's going a little too far.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree. I agree.
But let's flip it. You know what I mean? Now, T, you married, right? So how would you feel? You and you and your husband sitting up, y'all having sitting down, and y'all, just sitting with some other people, and then a guy just compliment your husband on his legs. Like, hey man, your legs look real nail today. Got that shea butter on them, brother. What's going on in your mind as that man is complimenting your man?
Let me see. The difference would be we go to the gym. So I've actually seen guys, but not like that. They wouldn't say shea butter, but they say, hey, what do you do to get that muscle or this calf? I like how your legs look, but not in a, they don't say it like that. I'm a lady, so I'm saying it like that, but it's a way that guys give a compliment in the gym that could be taken like I'm sure somebody has said to you, oh, you looking good.
I ain't asked you that,
right?
I gave you a scenario.
Oh, okay, it's for me. It's for me. I wouldn't think anything in the gym. Okay, outside the gym, I would be
I gave you a scenario.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna stick with I have a stick with the topic issue here. So I'm gonna stick. I've been told that a time or two. I'm gonna stick with the topic, the issue. Okay, at hand. If a guy says that you look like you have oil, I would definitely think something was up with that guy. I would. My
point.
Yes.
See, outside the gym, like if you're in the gym, I understand that part, what you said. Like, hey man, what you do that for your legs? I'm in the gym a lot. I'm sure your husband, we talk about different things on how to improve with different workout regimens and stuff like that.
Right.
But if you're out and about or you just in a casual setting, but even like you said, you ain't making those type of compliments in the gym either. The shea butter and melanated, and you ain't doing all of that. Even when you're in the gym, but even you hearing it, like you planning in your head, like a guy just come, like you like, hold on, wait a minute now, ain't you?
Yeah, you think it's flirty.
Yeah, don't it sound? Wouldn't that sound flirty?
Yeah, an even better question. What if a woman says it to him? Like, oh, did you use shea butter? What is going on with your legs? Like, that would be a good question for me.
Would she be flirting too?
She would be flirting too. So I'd have to think that about the man, right? Yeah.
Right.
I'm with you. I see where you're going. I agree.
Well, you be like, you put a little bit, you talking about Nella, like you be like, oh man, you look nice.
Right.
Keep it pushing, right?
And keep
you
it
going
moving.
into all these details. Yeah, you doing too much.
Yeah.
You got too many.
Yeah.
Yeah, you pouring it on.
It's a lot.
You poured it on. Said cow style fits the compliment.
Yeah. He's very eclectic.
Yeah. A lot of men need to tell these men with these rusty feet and ankles to grease.
Use that shea butter for them rusty feet and ankles and those elbows too.
Maria said they might be joking. She said, I ain't gonna put my mouth on the pasture. I don't want to get struck by lightning.
That's true. Oh, we should stop this conversation. We should move on to the next topic. That's true.
No, I'm leaning on that.
We don't want to add to the rumors.
No, when you make compliments like that, I think he had to be knowing that you can't sit up there and compliment a man's legs like that.
That's what I mean by he's free.
I think he had to expect that.
He didn't think about it.
If he didn't think about it, he was too much in the moment. And if you're too much in the moment not to think about that,
he was mesmerized. Those things was blinging.
T said it. I didn't. T said it. I didn't. She said the man was mesmerized. He was mesmerized by what?
I was about to rhyme. It was gonna be corny. By those legs. They was blinking. I went to a Boots and Bling cowgirl party yesterday. Oh, it was so much fun. I got to give a shout out to the two queens that did their thing. Miss Ashley Events and Suge V Sweets. Let me just say that I am still in my cowgirl hat because I had so much fun, and I said I have to represent and give them a shout out today. So love you, queens. Thank you. He was mesmerized by those greasy thighs. That's so corny. But his legs, you can see the side of the legs. They look good. Cam look. I've always liked Cam.
I think he became so eclectic.
Yeah.
He does really good commentary and stuff. I think his podcasts and stuff be pretty cool. I watch some of the sports stuff that he does. But I think he's very insightful. I think he has a lot of insight. Extremely funny as well at times. Sometimes controversial on his podcast and stuff too, because it brings different and interesting conversation. But just like most of these things, when people are on the internet, man, you know, it's always deemed him, Jamal Bryant. Everybody knows that you're subject, even us. You're subject to at some point be picked on, talked about, something taken out of context, and it goes out. It just comes. It's the name of the game. When you're on here, you're on the internet. It could be taken. It could be a snippet. It could be whatever. And it could be taken, and dipped, and put out to the world. And then you might have to respond to it.
It's not easy. It's not easy at all, but it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
Easy.
Yeah.
It is definitely.
But you know what I like about Cam? He thinks differently. Like when there's a topic, I would assume that he would take one approach, and he's just on this. His mind just is so different. He's so eclectic. So I always love hearing what he has to say about even the most simplest topic. Even if I don't agree with him, it's like, man, I didn't even think about it that way. I don't agree. But it's a very interesting way that his mind maneuvers and he thinks about things. I like listening to him.
Now, another news. Now, Jamal Bryant also had another brother on this conversation talking about gospel music, man. Gospel music being something, a topic of discussion of it being, are they overpaid, underpaid, not paid enough as gospel music, gospel musicians, gospel singers. One brother on this show had an interesting take on it, and we're going to hear what he had to say. Check it out.
I think that gospel singers are the most out of shape singers of any genre.
Because how much they pay us and how much we got to be on the road to make up for that.
Jesus Christ.
That's why. Chilling circuit. That's why.
But y'all took chilling circuit seriously.
Quartet groups only get paid $400. It's about 5, 6, 7 of them could get a band too. So they got to eat whatever the mother cooked for them.
Wow.
Church. That's why.
Now
he said you took chilling circuit too serious.
He said they underpaid and out of shape. Oh man, is that what we doing? They underpaid.
I told you he was free. He says whatever he wants to say.
They underpaid and out of shape.
But why was the guy eating during the interview?
He's always eating. He's a comedian.
Okay. This is my first time seeing this. Okay.
Yeah, he's a comedian. So he's always that. One of his things is that he eats and stuff, and he tries different food and stuff like that. Yeah, he's a really funny guy. Really funny guy. Okay. Yeah, Bobby just said it. He's a funny guy in real life. Yeah, he's a funny guy in real life. Dude is hilarious. Really good comic. Really good comedian, and just the way that, especially. But it is a real question. Like people don't realize that the gospel music in the industry, of course, the unhealthy part of where you're talking about bigger folks and all that type of stuff, he's kind of playing it as a joke. But health is a real thing that we have to make sure that we are discussing and being a part of, especially when we're talking about the church community. Being healthy, trying to make sure that we have a little bit more of a healthier lifestyle. But also, are they underpaid? He was given a reason why they may be a little bit bigger because they're underpaid.
I'm
So you
sorry.
got you eat a lot unhealthier. You eating
Right,
whatever
right,
the
right.
mother cook at the church. She usually cooking chitlins and collard greens and
Oh, the
all that
food
type
is
of stuff.
delicious. Oh, you
You
eating?
know,
You're gonna eat well on the road.
you gonna eat good. You
That's for
gonna eat
sure.
good.
You're gonna eat good. That's for sure. The mother's putting all the butter in there. It's high cholesterol.
Yeah, yeah. You got the high
Oh,
cholesterol
joking.
going.
Oh, do you think that they were joking? I don't. Do you think they were joking with this topic?
Yeah, yeah. I think they were joking, but
Okay.
I think it's part of the big. But a part of even in jokes, part of it is true. Like
Right.
even though it did a joke, the joke can still have some truth to it, which is a real thing, which is a
Right.
really, something that a lot of times we don't um, pay attention to is that the music industry itself, of course, people being on the road trying to get things done, but also it can be
Mm-hmm.
unhealthy. And then, of course, when they're talking about when you talk about the church community, a lot of them they had all these bigger groups, the quartet groups, and all that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the churches that they're going to, they don't have much to give or to have them put
Right.
on. So, you know that is part of the part of the gospel industry. So I think that's kind of where that comes from. That I
I
saw.
was gonna say the labels too.
You said what?
They're underpaid. OG Bobby Johnson said they're underpaid because of the labels. So like,
Ah, that's a good
mm-hmm,
point.
who they're signed with. It's
Who
not
they're
like the
signed
major
to?
secular music labels with all of the money.
Yeah, and they screw them over too.
They do.
You'll see. You're seeing a lot of the singers and stuff that's been coming out talking about the original music that they had. I was trying to find the other clip to even tie into this of the one of the young gospel singers that they had been singing. She was in a group they have been singing since they were like young, since like they was teenagers, and like she's in her mid-20s now. So they've been
Mm,
singing and stuff for like the last 10 years or so. And man, they didn't just sing how a lot of their hits and stuff, like they're not even getting paid from it because they're not owners of the music.
yeah,
So
the
they don't own their
masters.
music. Yeah, they don't own their masters and any of the rights to their music anymore. They only get paid to be on the road. That's why when we had the conversation a few weeks ago when Angie Stone passed, her fighting for her music when
Mm-hmm.
she didn't really enjoy being on the road, but she had to be on the road in order to make money. Like she was
Right.
fighting the labels for her music, and that's where you know when you go into these when they catch you when you're a novice, right? Like when you just
Yeah.
a vibrant singer just ready to go out there and do your thing, and then you just sign over all everything. Like man,
Mm-hmm.
you just sign over,
Yeah.
not knowing that that's going to be the results of it, man. That's the hard part. All you got to do is be on the road, be on the road, be on the road. In order for you, I'm thinking that's why Smokey Robinson is still on the road and stuff. I don't think he on this stuff. Some of these older folks they don't be saying nothing because a lot of them they
No.
still be on the road. I think Smokey 80.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he like 80 years old.
Yeah. We got to
And he's
talk
still
about
on there.
Smokey. Maybe at the next show. He's done some things. He might be a little stressed out. He might be a little stressed out
He might be, but I've heard that he's been putting on some
doing
good
concerts.
shows. He still puts on a good show, even to
Yeah.
be so in his elderly age.
Yeah.
To still be
They
moving and stuff like that. That's beautiful.
now I see why Prince. Remember when Prince changed his name? It's because when you sign those
That's
contracts, you
right.
sign over your whole like yourself. I don't know what they call it, but like entity or everything that's involving you, your music, if you write,
Mm-hmm.
everything. So
Yep.
you don't have any exclusivity or individuality or something. I forgot the names and words that they use in those contracts, but you sign that over, and he changed his name so that he could make money. And a lot of people are doing it now, like Ashanti. I think she redid all of her songs under a new name. I don't know how she was able to do it, but somehow she
Mm-hmm.
got the permission to do that. And so now she'll get paid from those old
Right.
songs. Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
tricky.
It is tricky.
But I mean, if you've been trying to be out there, be a star, and somebody presents you with the opportunity, what do you do? It's such a hard question, because you always think you could trick the system. It's like, okay, but once I get out there, I'll do my first album, and then I'll blow up, and I'll be able to buy back my masters. You always think that you could stay ahead and trick the system, but the system always wins. It's like the streets. The streets always win. You're not beating the streets. The streets are going to win.
Not at all.
That might be a Chicago saying, but it's just like the game. I'll say the game. Yeah, the game is good here, but the game is going to be played. They're pros that play in the game. You're not going to get into the industry and beat the game. So you have to think of other ways. And that's what, a lot of people are being very creative with the internet, with streaming, and just making their own material and putting it out there and creating their own voice. So I think that's smart to do.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't even need a record label. They're doing independent. They're going independent.
Yeah, I think I saw Fantasia had put out a little while ago about I think it was probably about a week ago or so. She was on stage. She's always like giving inspirational messages and stuff, and like said something about God or something inspirational during her concerts. And she was talking to some young artist that was coming up, and she was telling she was like warning her, like, do not sign to a label. Like, don't waste your time. Like, you gotta provide everything that you need to stay independent. Like, don't sign to a label. She said, I know, because I've been through it. Like, she had been, I mean, we all know she won the American Idol, and we watched her grow into this star that she is today. And she was just warning this young lady, like, you're extremely talented. Just don't sign to a label and just stay independent. And that is part of the conversation right now. Like, sign a distribution deal, and if they want to do a deal, sign a distribution deal where they're making money off of the distribution and put it in to all the different areas that you want it. So, because they pretty much give you the loan and you go to work with the loan. It's all you're doing. If you can go and go get a loan and pay all the same people. Do the same thing. So it's
right.
But when you're young and you don't have any business intuition, it's kind of hard. We say these artists aren't smart, but they're the artists. Like, their hard work is doing the art. Like, they don't want to have
to creative.
Deal with they don't want to deal with the business part of stuff. They really just want to do the creative side and being able to try to trust somebody to do right by you in the business side. And so that's where it's like you have to put on your business hat with the creative hat, and a lot of them don't have that, or they get it later on. It's working so hard to kind of build yourself up. It's a hard thing.
After losing money. Yeah.
Right. You lost millions, right? And then man, it'd be tough. And then it'd be some of our favorite artists, right? Like, it'd be some of our favorite artists. Like, we don't know that they're being done like that. And we're supporting their music, and they're not getting paid for the music that we're supporting. So it's kind of a jacked up situation when your fans that want to support whatever artist that we're wanting to support, and they're getting raked over by their label.
Right.
So that's kind of the jacked up part. Yep.
Go independent, make money.
Go independent and make. Yep. But even they were saying with that, like, there's ways for around that, because the numbers with streams is crazy low, and so you have to try to go direct to your fan base.
Consumers,
base will like they'll pay the $5 or whatever, $10 for your album for them to download your album, and so if you can go direct that way, you can make more money than just the streams. What do you say?
Same numbers like hip hop and R&B.
That's true.
Very true.
Yeah. So a lot of African artists are going independent and making money off social media streams. Yeah. That dollar definitely stretches a lot more you know, and they have a lot more. They could build a man like Burner and all those guys. They're building a crazy following over in Africa, which is crazy right now.
And it's global. The internet is just global.
You can reach everybody.
Man.
Reach everybody.
Oh, this is an interesting question. Well, thank you, Maria. I didn't get into it.
What's the question?
Oh, she says, do y'all believe Smokey raped those women? I believe they just trying to put dirt on his legacy.
Oh wow.
Well, allegedly.
I did run across something like that. That there was some alleged something that was alleged that came out. So like they're going after everybody, man. Every
right.
You know, hey man, you'll see when things come out in court, and sometimes you don't because they just want to pay out or whatever, or it could have been somebody that they dealt with before. Marie, do you know if it was something that was back in the day, or was it something that they were happening currently? Like, because I know they were talking maybe it was something that happened in the 80s or the 90s or something, or was it something that was like recent? I don't know. I didn't get a chance to kind of look it over, but it was definitely something that came out. But and with the P. Diddy case, it ain't nothing really overshadowing that, which we'll dive into probably on the show. Ain't nothing really
Are you sure? I don't know. I don't need my car blowing up. I think we should just leave that to the professionals.
Oh yeah. I'm diving in on that.
You gonna dive in?
I was planning to do it like day by day. I was planning to like do a morning segment on it like every day, and just go over the case and stuff. And because I got a couple guys that I was gonna bring on that were former FBI people, some forensic science people, former law enforcement, some lawyers and stuff.
That's the way to do
that
it.
Come on, that'll probably be coming on talking about it this week. So it's gonna be fun.
It's a lot to dissect. Yeah,
it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot.
Did Maria answer that?
Let me see. Here you go. She go. Yep, she did. Here you go. Okay. She said it was in the 2000s, I think. See, like people bringing up stuff a long time, like it. I don't know. Like, was it reported? All those type of things kind of go into play. So you gotta, you know, and it sucks if a person didn't feel like they has the support if that happened, you know, or they feel like somebody is too powerful and they can't come forth. That's the kind of sucky part, you know. It kind of, and then if it's not true, it kind of hurts when it's like, you know, when you cry wolf, like you're messing up when the women that really need the support. If you just out here just trying to get some money, like you're trying to play the game, it kind of messes up the atmosphere of what is real and what's not. And if you're just trying to get a payday, you know, that's kind of jacked up to the real victims out here that are actually being raped, that really feel like they don't have a voice. And I you know, it's a shame if there are people out there that's doing that.
That's true. So you think that the housekeeper, I think one was his housekeeper. I did read about that, so I do know a little bit about that part. But she says that he was keeping her, you know, she's not from here, and he was threatening to deport her if she didn't give him, do things to him. Yes, when he asked for it. But she got paid very well to be the housekeeper, but she was also on call to come into the garage or some area when he asked for it to please pleasure him in that way. And there were times where he wouldn't let her leave the home. And so that was like years.
He wouldn't let her leave the home.
Yeah, she was saying that he kept them or kept her. I don't know if they were in a room or something, but they couldn't leave at certain times. You know, he was very controlling in that way. He was a different Smokey than what we see when he's, you know, cruising, all that. He was different inside the house. He's not the same Smokey outside the house. That's what they said. But in terms of it taking so long, I'm kind of, as a woman, I'm kind of on the fence with that because, you know, I understand that the healing process may take a little longer. And yeah, it happened a long time ago, but there's exactly what you said. So many things come into play. I was going to say exactly what you said now, and I don't want to repeat it because you already said everything.
No, it's coming from
He's
your
more
perspective.
powerful. You know, those reasons. He's more powerful. Nobody will believe me anyway. And I don't think we could put a number on the amount of time it takes for you to get the courage to come out. Because to be honest, in a way, it's a little embarrassing. You know, nobody's going to believe you. You know, it's a fight. You're ashamed. You feel ashamed because you allowed this to happen. You blame yourself as the victim. And so the person who's the perpetrator knows this. They're very smart. So I don't think we could put a number on it. I see what you're saying. I see how it could seem like everybody's trying to get a payday. Why does she then? Same thing. Sometimes you just don't. You're not going to get up the next day and go report it. Sometimes it's hard to even tell people, and you keep it to yourself. You know, you get sick, and it comes a time when you just say, forget it. Or maybe somebody else came out first, and then she got the courage to come out. Maybe she talked to her inner circle and they didn't think it was a good idea because she would get deported. So there are a lot of things come into play. And then there is that percentage of women who cry wolf. But I think the larger percentage are really telling the truth.
Right.
They haven't said anything else. That's true. I haven't heard anything. He must have paid them off because I have not heard anything else.
Well, it was recent. It was like, it was like maybe a couple weeks ago, a few weeks ago. So if they're going to go to trial or do any, like, I don't even know if it can be a trial.
Oh my God.
I think it only can be filed as a civil suit though.
Maria, you think she could have left at any time she wanted to?
That's an interesting point.
That's interesting.
Now, when did she stop working for him?
I don't know.
I
don't know the facts. Ooh. I don't think you could still work for him after making this allegation. Right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if she's saying, like, we're saying that this occurred in the early 2000s, how long haven't she been working for him during that time? Or she's saying this has been ongoing, right? Like,
yeah, she said ongoing.
When did the employment stop? When did she leave, or did she get fired?
I hope he didn't fire her because then he looks like that, like admits guilt.
No, he don't. Not if he fired her a long time ago.
Well, before she said something, but if she like threatened to say something and then he fires her, that's even more of a reason for her to say, I don't know. Then I probably
that's blackmail at that point.
That's blackmail, right? I was gonna say it's tricky.
If she said don't, if she goes to say, hey, if you say something, if you don't give me this, I'm gonna say something. Then that's blackmail.
No, I mean, if he says, if you say something, I'm going to fire you. That's not right either. But I see what you're saying as well.
We'll still be working for you.
We need to get the facts. We'll have to come back with the facts. Research it and see if.
Yeah, we have to see about that. That's going to be interesting.
But to be honest, I think when you get an attorney, you can't work for them anymore. Like, I can't say somebody did something for me and then I'm still going back there.
Well, that's a choice. What happened. That's a choice at that point.
Well, legally, I messed my case up. I messed my money up. If that's the reason. If I don't know.
Well, it depends on your accountability at the employment place. Like there are people that will sue a district or whatever they still work for.
Really?
Yeah, that don't stop them from being employed. Like, it's just you're going through a lawsuit. Now, this was a little bit more personal because it's like you're the personal housekeeper. So that person probably wouldn't want you there if you're still, you're going after them in that way. And now it's like, okay, we need separation.
No, if I was her attorney,
she said she worked for him for years. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. That's going to be interesting. Or we might not ever hear nothing. He might, Smokey's about to check out of here in a little bit, man. He ain't trying to.
You said leave him alone?
He probably ain't trying to fight nothing. He probably ain't trying to fight nothing. He probably gonna take stuff off. Like he trying to go to no trials. He trying to be on the road, still seeing his fans and stuff. If she, because it's a civil suit, I'm sure. I haven't looked into it, but I'm sure it's a civil suit. Because if it happened that long, I'm sure the limitations have passed. Unless depending on the state in which it's at. So we have to just look at those details. But I don't think Smokey going, even if it's any amount of small truth, you probably want to just pay it off so you don't have the headache. He don't want to go through the stress and no. He's too old to be going through the stress and of a trial.
Yeah, I have to look this up. But is there a statute of limitations on rape? If you accuse somebody, like, I don't think so, because didn't they bring in Bill Cosby and those women were talking about things that happened in the 90s?
Huh?
But I'll say that again.
Yeah, it's a statute of limitations. The only thing that don't have a statute is murder.
Murder, yeah.
Everything else has a statute on it. But like far as it to be criminal, like civil, you can sue anybody for anything. You can sue somebody for stepping on your right toe. So you can, but then you could also countersue the person, you know, as well. So you know, when people try to play the suing game, then you can get in trouble.
Yeah, that's a lot of money playing that game.
Brenda said she worked for she Googled.
Oh, thank you for Googling
2007, 2024.
Okay.
So recently, probably fired her, and then now she coming out this year. Listen, it's a whole lot of scenarios that can be happening with this now. That's a long time to be working for somebody.
Yeah, because this 2025.
So that means if he fired her, or she left in 2024, she fired or was let go in 2024, and then now there's a lawsuit, right? So we have to say if she left in 2024 trying to negotiate a deal and he wasn't having it, that could be the scenario too, but that'll be interesting.
Then that'll go with your point of her just trying to get a bag.
Yeah, he's just trying to get a bag. That, in my opinion, I think that's what she might be, if she was just fired, right? Like if she left, I think that he probably was you know, had did something, and she was just, you know, maybe tired of it. I don't know, we, you know, got going on during that time, but hey, so like she wasn't she ain't want that smoking.
Were they in California? Are they in California? Because it says in California, the statute of limitations for rape as it relates to prosecution is no longer a factor if the alleged rape occurred on or after January 1st, 2017, or if the statute of limitations hadn't expired by that date, according to the defenseattorney.com website. But the statute of limitations is 10 years. Well, it is usually 10 years from the date of the assault, or 3 years from the discovery of an injury or illness resulting from the assault. So that is for the state of California.
So yeah, if she worked for him from 2007 to 2024, if it was any time before 2014, 2015.
Yep. Or 2000. Well, this says on or after January 1st, 2017. Occurred on or after January 1st.
2017, they don't have a statute anymore. But if it happened before 2017, if it happened anytime before 2015, then it wouldn't be eligible.
Right.
Because the 10-year part.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
We broke that thing down.
So anytime after 2017, if she has proof or whatever, I mean, I'm not sure if she's trying to go after prosecution wise or she's just trying to get a civil suit, because her person, you know, doing a prosecution, she ain't getting nothing from that. She trying to, you know, he just gonna get in trouble. But you know, if she could get compensated for her trauma, or both could happen, you know, I'm not sure if she got a civil attorney or she actually wouldn't file charges with the DA for them to investigate it.
So well, the DA might file charges. I don't know. He's so old.
Proof. You gotta have some proof though.
She might have recorded something. Yeah.
Yeah, that one there. You gotta she got some proof somewhere. That's gonna be.
You know, it's ways. If she was raped, they could use well, I don't know how. Maybe it's too late though. But the rape kit proves you could.
Well, I don't think she. Well, from what Maria saying, she wasn't talking about rape. It sounded like she was. Well, it sounded like she was just having
fellatio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fellatio out here.
Yeah.
You're giving that top.
I don't know how you prove that.
Yeah, I don't know how you prove that either.
Maybe you can describe everything. Like if you know in detail what's going on, like if there's a certain mole or something and you're able to describe
that wouldn't work either. She was his housekeeper. You know? She could have walked in there while he was getting out the shower or something.
You might be helping out his attorney. We should be quiet. We're helping the case. That's smart.
She could have walked in there 18 years. She could have popped in there at one moment and just made a mistake. He was coming out the shower, you know, boom, boom, boom. He, you know, his shorts came off in the pool.
Come on.
He was getting out the pool, his shorts slipped off. Anything could have happened.
She had binoculars. She could see that close. Ooh, smoky.
She could have been coming out. A whole lot could have been happening. A whole lot.
Smoky.
We're going to go to the last topic.
He didn't have to do that, man. Women love him.
Hey, we got one more about choosing the right partner. Now, I want you guys sit back, relax, watch this. This is a clip from tonight's conversation, and we're just gonna discuss it and talk about it. Here we go. Let's go. Let's see. Let me go back to it. Here we go.
Make these choices and we'll say you should have chosen better, you should have picked better.
Yeah.
And really what it is after the relationship has changed and transitioned into now we're both parents, I'm not fun anymore, I'm not the girl that you wanted anymore, you don't really like this lifestyle, what is this change in Pampers? When we used to go out every night, we used to do this and that. So yeah, people do change.
I agree.
So we gotta stop saying like this been this way. No, if he been that way, I wouldn't have gave him. Yeah, absolutely not.
Whoa. Hold on. Wait. And again, I don't mean to interrupt the necessarily disagree. But my issue with that is when we get to talking about women choosing men. Unfortunately, a lot of women deal with men who they already have an example of the type of father he is. And they still choose him anyway. And because, let's just be honest here, a lot of women don't give a damn what type of father he is to kids that's outside of her house. She get to thinking like, okay, he a terrible dad over there, but it must be something that the baby mama's doing to make him be that way.
No.
Right?
She's keeping those kids from him.
She keeping them kids from him. She doing this, whatever the case may be. But when he has my kid, he's going to turn into super dad, right? So it's kind of hard for me to accept the fact that, hey, I just went into this blind. A lot of the dudes out there got 2-3 kids from 2-3 different women already. You see him being negligent. He don't even bring up his kids in conversations with you.
Well, those type of bitches have a special class and they ride a different bus, but we're talking about other women.
Now.
Oh, man. So, is this...
Let me sit up a little bit. Get ready for it. Go ahead.
Now, is this something that is happening, or is a real conversation right now?
The first part, I don't know, and I'm gonna be perfectly honest, and it may be because I haven't seen that, but the first part where she says that he's like, you're changing diapers, you're different, I don't like it. I don't know. He ain't a grown man. Maybe I've been around. I'm used to being around grown men. But when your wife or your woman becomes a mother, I'm used to being around men who are like, you are more beautiful because you've had this child, and who are supportive. So I can't answer to that part. But what I do agree with was when he said, you are thinking that you are going to be different than the other woman and her children. If a man is not taking care of his ex or his children with his baby mama, what makes you think he's going to be a good father for your children? Why would you lay with him and have children with a man who has 5 kids from 5 different babies? He's told you. And it's nothing. I'm not even blaming the man at this point. He's showing you who he is. And you have agreed to be baby mama number 6, the next crazy one, because the last 5 were crazy. That's what, hey, they crazy. I don't want to call them they crazy. And then you say, hey, I won't be the crazy one. And now you're sitting there talking about short buses, looking crazy. It looks crazy to me. But the other thing that he said was, I think she was saying it. I don't think that as women, we give men a fair chance at doing what they do as a man, which is, I think, I love to see a man become a father and take care of his children. That has nothing to do with me. I think I've said this before. Women need to stay out of that. Allow that man to take care of his children and be a father. You may be a terrible husband. You may have been a terrible partner to me. That's me and your relationship. It has nothing to do with you and your child. So I don't think it's fair to keep the children away, to talk bad about the father to the child, because just because you treat me a certain way, because I've treated you a certain way, and we fight and we do this thing, does not mean you're going to be abusive to your children unless you are. If you're an abusive, if you have a personality disorder that you're taking medication for, or you know, I got to kind of watch you, then maybe I'll kind of be in your business. Other than that, if you're a good father, why would I interfere with that? Why would I interrupt that? I don't. Yeah, I see that happening a lot. I don't agree with it. I think that men should be given an opportunity to take care of their children and to have a relationship with their children where they can call you at any time. They can come over at any time. Just a separate relationship from me, because I understand our relationship was what it is. Your relationship is different. So that's my take on it. My 2 cents.
Yeah, that portion of it I think is important to dive into, because the sad part is that from that, women would use the child, right, as a separation tool from as far as the relationship is concerned. Now, the whole concept is supposed to be that in a perfect world, right, we're supposed to husband, wife, children. It's no baby mama, baby daddy situation, right? That's supposed to be the structure of what we should strive for, right? The standard, the bar shouldn't be baby mamas and baby daddies. That should not be the standard. That should not. I failed at that standard, right? Like, we have to realize, and because a lot of the times, and I bring in even my personal part of that, because a lot of times we try to bring on the perception that every situation that we look at ourselves that is perfect, right? And so, yeah, that's a failed situation that I wouldn't want my children to follow. You see what I'm saying? Like, having a baby mother isn't the goal, right? So I have a ex-wife, I had children. That's not the goal. The goal is to be able to find a partner, wife, husband, long term, that you guys are going to be together, have children, yada yada. But in these scenarios, what happens is that when there is a split or there is a breakup, the woman would hold the child as hostage. And those women are very wrong for that. And the man that decide that because you're not with the woman, that you're not going to be in the child's life, you're wrong for that as well.
Right.
Like, out of pocket. So if you are the woman that is keeping the man out of his child's life, you sorry and low down. You sorry and low down if you are keeping your children out of the father's life. On the other side, the man low down. If just because you can't be with that woman, she don't want to be with you no more. She don't like you no more. She done moved on with another guy. Now, oh well, they could be that kid daddy then. Nah, brother, you need to go over there and make sure that you get your kids, you build that relationship, and that you are involved.
Yeah.
You have to push that issue. And so I look at it from both sides of the aisle. Like, I think it's more prevalent on the woman's side because it's trying to create a stir in a problem, and then the guy that get overwhelmed with the responsibilities, and like women won't let them see the kid unless they give them some money. And if a guy is down and out on his luck, then he can't see the kid. Like the kid still needs the relationships, even if he's financially in between at the moment. So just like if the woman, you could be financially in between, but guess what? You can go get services and all the other type of stuff to help get you back up, right? And that's where the crux of the conversation kind of goes. And when we try to say like guys are bad fathers and stuff and all that type of stuff, and I know that's an old conversation now. There's the whole bad baby daddy situation is not a real thing at this current moment, that there's a lot more guys involved in their children's lives that are actively involved. Even guys are getting custody of their children. They're being a lot more proactive. They're not running away from the courts. I tell guys all the time, like, hey man, you got a kid, make sure that you go to the court system, make sure that you make sure that you get your time and visitation. Don't be afraid of the child support and stuff. All that comes with court, it gonna come with it. You can't run away from it. They're gonna tag you with it anyway. Like you can't get away from it. It's gonna be a debt. It's gonna be a debt. It's gonna be a debt. So don't run away from it. Go ahead, fully on in it. Don't run away from it. Show your children, if she become that belligerent individual, show your children that you are being actively pursuant to be in their lives. You're going to be able to show documentation that you were trying your hardest to be involved, that you filed petitions, that you filed paperwork, all this other type of stuff. So having that excuse talking about well, she won't let me see the kid. Nah, you got a whole system that can be enforced. So what most people don't know, I know I'm being a little long-winded. I'm gonna give y'all a little tidbit. If I'm talking a little legal jargon for y'all just a little bit. So if a guy or a woman, so if the guy try to take custody of the kids, or he's trying to have the kids, and you go and file, if they don't adhere to the actual paperwork that the judge signs. So for instance, if you end up getting a day a weekend or something like that, or you get a Saturday out of the week or whatever, and then they hit you with the rest of the child support. If she fails to meet the requirements of letting you see the kid, you can actually end up filing for full custody because she's now in violation of the actual order, and vice versa. That's what happens a lot, even with women. If the guy is not adhering to the actual custody agreement, you can go back and file that, hey, this person isn't adhering to the custody, and now they'll be in trouble again. So it works both ways. The system is going to work for who wants to be involved in a child's life. And so women automatically get the injunction because they automatically give them to the woman. But if you are trying to be a pursuing and active father, you got to go down there and be involved so that they will know that you love them too.
That's good info. Yeah. You know what I was thinking when you said that you made a mistake, or I don't know. Let me make sure I got it right. I think you did say, did you call it a mistake that your ex?
No, I would say my situation isn't ideal.
Not a mistake. I know you didn't say that word, but
not ideal.
I think it's not ideal, right?
Yeah.
I don't see an ex-wife being like the same category as a baby mama. So I don't think that you did anything wrong. The relationship the marriage just didn't work out. And so then now you are in a situation with the children.
I would say it's it's not the same, but it's kind of, it's like it's 1A, 1B. Like it's under the same category because the children aren't in the same household. That's the part that I'm saying. Like the separation of creates that the children aren't in the same household anymore.
No, that's true. I think that when I think of baby mamas, I'm thinking of like a single woman who is maybe dating someone, and she's dating, you know, and they don't use anything or something, and then they're in a relationship, and she thinks it's okay to have his baby, and she has the baby. Then she becomes a baby mama. I remember when the song came out. I think it was the early 2000s, and that's when they introduced us to the term baby mama, because you didn't have a term before. I don't know what the term was before that. What did we say? You have
it wasn't a normal thing.
Your child's father or your child's mother.
But it wasn't a normal thing.
It wasn't normal, and so I think, I think that
like the teen pregnancy thing wasn't normal, right? Like none of that stuff was normal. Like teen pregnancy and. You know, even when a child, it was shamed upon. You shamed. It was a shameful thing. It wasn't something with pride. Like you got these teens out here with these big bellies. They having gender reveals and all that type of stuff. They used to send that child down south or to any house, you know, somewhere out the city, because it was a shameful thing, not only for her but for the family. Like that's not something that people viewed as something positive. It was something that was viewed negative. Now it's praised. You know what I mean? They had the friends they planned to get pregnant together. They were 15, 16 years old planning to get pregnant. Like that stuff wasn't normal back then.
So I was saying that I think that because of the situationships that now go into such a big decision to have to raise a family, I think that's why it would be easy for her to find a guy who says, you've changed, you're no longer fun. They're not invested because he didn't even love you enough to marry you after you became pregnant. That used to happen. You know, if you become pregnant, that's it. I have to get married. I have to marry you.
Right.
The shotgun weddings.
Shotgun marriage.
Marriages. Yeah, we don't see that. There's a shotgun marriages. We don't see that anymore. So I think that's more so what they were talking about. You know, I think once you become like, I don't think I'm a baby mama if we got divorced. I think I'm the mother of his child and I'm his ex-wife. But I think in a situation that she's talking about, which is a little different, now I can kind of agree with her more because it is sort of situationship. And the guy may not even feel like he was connected to her. It's like, I didn't mean to.
I didn't mean to do that. Just hot. Oops, did I do that? Like,
right. So what you gonna do? You know, if he picks up the phone when she calls to let him know.
Did he give you his real name? Did he even give you his real name?
What's his last name? Some women don't know.
Maria said that's why God designed marriage. You need a man who loves God and he will know how to treat a woman. Great point. Now, she also said, on the other hand, it's not the woman's job to run the man. Let that man lead, but know what kind of man you follow. Some men can't lead you anywhere, and some women don't want to be led. They want the man's role. Oh, she said the mouthful right there.
Yeah, we talked about that before, Maria. I don't know if you saw that show where we talked about the roles of men and women and how nowadays some women have to take the role of a man because they don't have men in their lives leading them at all. And so, unfortunately, they have to become a little more masculine just to kind of get through. You know, they're not allowed to be feminine and be in a soft girl era. They have to sometimes be a little more masculine. I don't know if they're trying to run men, but they actually would love to be able to sit back and relax and be feminine, but they cannot because of the situations. Yeah.
Man, that's how it is. That is a huge thing. That it's a heavy conversation, man. But we're gonna make sure that we dive into more of that on the next show, man. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Once again, chopping it up with us, man. Having a great conversation, having a great dialogue. Make sure y'all continue to get up in them comments so we can go ahead and reply to y'all. Stay active with us as we continue to have these discussions. Make sure that you send us some of your suggestions and topics that you may want us to talk about as well. Kind of what Maria did earlier, kind of bringing up Smokey, and we kind of delved into that for a moment. So appreciate you guys just coming in and having a conversation and discussion with us and having all of these great conversations. We appreciate y'all. Go ahead, T. Tell them how they can get in touch with you.
T. Franklin, you can contact me at t.franklin@yahoo.com. And Patrick, it is always a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me tonight.
Always.
And I just look forward to the next time.
Hey, man, it's your man, Patrick the Game Changer Jackson here, man. Listen, we always going to bring the heat. We always going to bring the fire for you every single time, baby. Make sure y'all hit me up, PJ Game Changer, on Instagram. Make sure y'all hit up all of the socials on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and also YouTube, The Game Changer Show. We appreciate y'all tuning in. One more time. We out.